Here's the Academia's Distinguished Scholar Award. This is the Sumeru Puzzlers League Lifetime Achievement Award. And there's something from the Synopsium on Ruin Mechanisms. What do you think? Got any interest in becoming my student? Just as a note, I am from the Haravatat Darshan. You'll get lost if you try to find me in the halls of Ksharawar. 100 years have passed, yet there hasn't been any change to those dumb rules at the Academia. What did you say? Oh, I'm old now, so every other phrase escapes my ears. Try calling me Madam Faruzan, and I'll see if I can pick that up. Academic research isn't some kind of fad. Topics don't just go in and out of fashion. I haven't been a child for many, many years, so I don't see any reason to be excited about the rain. Whoa! What? There's nothing wrong with being afraid of thunder, even at an older age. How beautiful. How awe-inspiring. Achoo! Yes, and very cold-inducing as well. How cozy. A breezy open environment really is the best. Hey, how did we circle back here again? Youngster, there's nothing quite like an enthusiastic greeting to start your morning. Try to remember now. What are you supposed to say? I'm starting to get hungry. How about we go get something from the Grand Bazaar? Anything goes, as long as it's not overly innovative. Don't act so surprised. Scholars of every generation pull all-nighters for the research. After all, the night offers a precious opportunity to contemplate ideas and topics in peace. This ancient text is making my head spin. Let's call it a night here and get some rest. I'll be heading to bed as well, so good night. What is it that you would like to learn more about? Different forms of pressure-based puzzle mechanisms? The base layer design of elemental monuments? Wait, did you forget to call me Madam Faruzan just now when you asked your question? I want my students to truly enjoy the study of ancient texts. If I can't find anyone like that, then I just won't take on any students. Right. About finding someone to help me with my work. Well, it's pretty reasonable for students to help their mentors when they have some free time, right? I mean, even I did that back in the day. Serious question. Why don't you become my student? I'll tailor research topics to your needs and thoroughly explain everything you need to know. We can focus on practical ways to unlock modern-age puzzle mechanisms and build on that with some work on the deciphering of associated texts. I've walked the walk, so I can promise you that everything you'd learn would be a great boon for your future adventures. There's no reason not to trust me. When I was trapped, I spent so long solving puzzles that I became numb to even the flow of time. Now that I'm free again, I no longer have to face the puzzles of the world all on my own. Maybe we'll be able to spend some fun times together copying inscriptions, deciphering runes, and solving puzzles. Every minute should be savored. My illustrious resume aside, my intellectual capabilities have been acknowledged even by the Animo Archon himself. As for why I still can't find any students, well, it's not due to any fault on my part or that of my Darshan. Maybe it's a matter of timing. I also received my vision at precisely an opportune moment after all. Going forward, Ksharawar will be the only Darshan dedicated to the study of mechanisms. If you ask me, the Ksharawar scholars have gotten way ahead of themselves. When I was cracking puzzles all over Sumeru, they were still playing with rudimentary building blocks. Those geezers at Haravatat love to decline my funding requests with the excuse that my research is becoming too niche and impractical. By that logic, since we're still the Darshan with the lowest enrollment numbers, we might as well close our doors altogether. I've visited numerous ruins of all shapes and sizes and interpreted what scant texts and symbols I could find. Ruined drakes are indeed mechanisms of the highest order. Well, perhaps mechanism isn't the best word for them. You could argue that they're antiquated living organisms that have managed to survive until the present day. Knowledge is naturally something that cannot be limited or restrained. It's like how Ksharawar can utilize Haravatat's research findings. All scholars will be grateful to Lesser Lord Kusanali for releasing the Academia, No, the entire city of wisdom from the shackles of selfish desires. All who thirst for knowledge are now afforded the opportunity to search for treasures in the vast sea of knowledge. One of my favorite projects is researching rainforest ruins. Oh, right. I should ask Tighnari to come with me next time. It's always fun to travel with a living copy of the Rainforest Survival Guide. I must say, even though I've been around for more than 100 years, he's seen far more varieties of fungi than I've had the chance to taste. Ah, Kale. She's respectful toward her elders, diligent, and has a hard-working attitude. Truly the perfect student. Children like her deserve all the affection and praise. Tighnari really has no reason to be as strict as he has been. I need to find a way to win her over. What I meant to say was, as a senior scholar, I should find ways to improve the learning environment of younger students. Sino's jokes are composed using modern words and language patterns, but I still struggle to decipher any hidden meaning from his grammar and prose. Huh? It's all just literal meanings and homophones? Really? Then those jokes don't have any substance at all. Sometimes she'll lower her head and keep her distance when she sees me. However, she's all smiles and greetings at night. I don't quite get her. Anyway, most kids in Ratawas are geniuses. A quirk or two isn't anything to concern myself with. Kave's a good kid with great potential. I had a casual chat with him once about some principles of mechanism construction. How should I put it? He's too much of an artsy romantic, but at least he has some original ideas, which is rare nowadays. I've heard that he's fallen on some hard times, so I'm planning to invite him out for a good meal once my funding gets approved. It'll happen soon, promise. I remember her. She's a courteous girl. I've only been to the Grand Bazaar a few times, but she's already remembered my name and face. And she's even tried to get the others to stop arguing with me. She really gets it. All youngsters should be more like her. Interested in my story? Well, Madame Faruzan's life started more than 100 years ago, and her story covers as much ground as some major academic publications. Still curious? Good. Willingness to learn is an indispensable trait for scholars. You've got one foot in the door. Solving a truly ancient mechanical puzzle requires deciphering a deluge of ancient texts. I don't mean to boast, but they're probably on a completely different level from the ones you've solved on your adventures. Oh, don't believe me? Then why don't you pick out some of the hardest ones you've done and show them to me? If I spend more than a half an hour on any of them, it's your win. If I didn't accidentally lose myself in that King Deshret ruin, I could have contributed even more to Sumeru. Thankfully, my manuscripts and treatises were still put to good use. Those freeloading Kasharawar used them to establish the fundamentals of the study of mechanisms. I'm not called Madame Faruzan for nothing, you know. As a scholar, I should have the courage to accept failure and shoulder all of its consequences. I never wanted anyone to pity me, whether it be back then or right now. Also, don't forget that I eventually managed to solve that final puzzle by my own power and freed myself from that accursed place. Instead of pity, shouldn't people feel encouragement and inspiration from my story? My field of study is nowhere as esteemed as it used to be, and Haravatat has refused me funding more than once. Every now and then, Kasharawar will try to invite me to teach under their banner, and the conditions they've offered me are truly out of this world. More students, a higher spending limit. I still turn them down, however. No matter what, someone has to keep studying niche topics so we can expand the frontiers of humanity's knowledge. Some greedy merchants and mercenaries tried to hawk antiques of unknown origin in Port Ormos at exorbitant prices, but their goods are nothing more than secondhand trash. I bust their scams whenever I catch sight of one. My skill in antiques appraisal is probably second only to the gods of the Seven. 100 years ago, my greatest source of frustration was my inability to decipher the information engraved on ruined monuments. Now nothing irritates me more than the struggle to get funding. It's making my head hurt again. You can improve the aroma of batter several times over if you bake it in the oven. Next time we're in the kitchen, I'll make some for you so you can get a taste of the flavors from my time. Since it'll be my super secret ancient recipe, I bet you won't find anything like it in the whole Grand Bazaar. There's a new dessert that they call Patisara pudding. Who decided to create it? Shouldn't puddings be made with rice? These culinary innovations are really getting out of hand. Ugh. Thank you, but there's really no need to share it with me, even if you made it yourself. This is tastier than the food at the most historic establishments. Could it be that the culinary arts haven't stopped improving? The appearance, smell, and taste of this dish are all excellent. Do you read a lot of professional cooking books? This indescribable taste. Ugh. Are you trying to get me to figure out what this is? Happy birthday! Here's a small toy for you. It's an assembly of a number of miniature puzzle mechanisms. You can find a button and lever here, as well as a roller to the side. Just play with it however you want, and I'll take care of it if it breaks. And don't think I'm treating you like a child. Everyone, regardless of age, could use a moment of happiness and relaxation. Aren't you an energetic youngster? So enthusiastic, even about collecting materials. Oh, have you unlocked some kind of mechanism? A continuous current of power is streaming in. You're really putting a lot into this. Don't worry, it's my responsibility as your senior to guide and protect you. I won't let you go astray. The past 100 years have only afforded me the glimpse of Spindrift floating upon the endless sea of wisdom. As for the fields and puzzles that remain to be studied and explored, it'll be up to you and I to reveal their secrets.